Welcome to a cemetery files close to my heart, little strangelings. I was born and raised in the great state of Washington in the city of Seattle. Raised on the milk of Starbucks and learned to tuck for the flying fish just as soon as I could walk, I have spent many an hour walking the rows at Lakeview Cemetery, and have spent plenty of hours talking with not only some of Seattle's more notable settlers, but also with the cemetery's most famous denizens, Bruce and his son Brandon Lee. Today, I am going to skip the history of the cemetery itself and instead tell you the story of my most favorite resident interred here. As you drive the paths of Lakeview, there's one area in particular that should stand out from the rest, and that is a long row, 2 to 3 headstones wide and 20 or more of red granite headstones deep back from the road in an almost perfectly straight line. When you find this odd feature of Lakeview, you're where you need to be. Step out of your car, if you please, and keep to the left of that row of headstones. When you find a feature like this in any cemetery, you have found what used to be a road or footpath that is no more. Instead, it has been turned into more space to hold more of the dead. As you walk along, you'll find an unassuming headstone nearly in that old road, certainly very close to it. The name inscribed is that of Mary Ann Conklin, and who you have found, my little strangelings, is one of the most influential women of Seattle's history. Mary Ann Conklin is better known as Madam or Mother Damnable. She was married to the captain of a ship named Bull Conklin, a particularly nasty man who dropped Mary Ann in the city of Port Townsend only to sail off and abandon her. But Mary Ann was not to be deterred. She found her way to the city of Seattle, and her ability and penchant to swear in no less than 5 different languages quickly earned her the moniker of Madam Damnable. Also the fact that she was quite the madam. You see, the city of Seattle has a rather interesting history of being built on the backs of prostitutes and corruption. It was simply the Seattle way. Where Mary Ann went from Madam Damnable to Mother Damnable was at the time of her death, when she left her vast fortune in order to establish the very first Seattle City School District for children. She wasn't originally interred here in Lakeview. In fact, many of the residents here only found their final resting place here after being disinterred and reinterred up to 4 times. Mother Damnable herself is a unique case, my little strangelings, for when she was disinterred from the old city cemetery, which is now Denny Park today, it was found that her body had turned to stone, and she now weighed up to 2,000 pounds. This was back in the day when horse-drawn carriage was the only way to haul her body up steep Capitol Hill, and the exhausted horses and men interred this woman of history practically in the road as a result, which you can still see today thanks to those red granite headstones. If you decide to visit Lakeview, I strongly urge you to go next door to Volunteer Park and to visit its conservatory and purchase yourself the book, The Pioneers of Lakeview, in the gift shop. I'll have more information about that book along with Lakeview's website and information on your screen now.